Hello, everybody. Welcome to the CT Sports Talent Show. My name is Christopher Saunders, and before the season starts, in less than 6 days, as Naugatuck will be taking on Darien, why not have on sophomore running back Brandon Andoh, who was freshman year, came out guns a-blazing and was fantastic. Brandon, I appreciate you coming on, man.
Thank you.
Your freshman year, man, was, and again, obviously, I see a lot of freshmen throughout the years that have fantastic seasons, and you don't expect a lot from them. You think, okay, a couple hundred yards, maybe a touchdown here or there, fantastic. You superseded that, and then you went on top of it and did more. And not only did you put up the numbers, you made impacts in games where, you know, I don't know if you would agree with me on this, but I felt like after the Woodland loss, when you played Torrington the next week, when you got that touchdown, which at the time you guys were goose egged, right? You had a couple stalled drives. You got the touchdown late in the game, and that kind of changed the momentum. Like what you do on the field offensively helps change that for your team. Like, do you realize that?
Yeah, I do, but I feel like it's a team spirit. We all equally we see one person down, that kind of ruins the whole motive and the whole momentum. So as long as we keep all our players fully
Mm-hmm.
in the right mind space and
Hmm.
everything, we definitely are a good pack, good one united team.
Take me into last season, man, because again, I felt like you guys battled. It was one of those years where obviously you didn't have a star at every position, right? There were holes, there were things that maybe could have been better, right? But you found a way to get 9 wins. You beat Ansonia the day before Thanksgiving. I mentioned the Torrington game. You guys, I think, were what, 4-5-0 before the loss against Woodland. The ebbs and flows, right? It's not like it was fantastic every week. How was it going through the highs, the lows, and the in-betweens? How was that?
It was a good experience. It helped us show who's really wanting to play, who's willing to fight, and
Hmm.
who's willing to show up every day
Hmm.
and put in the work as much as I want to do it, and as much as the rest of the players on the team and my teammates want to do it.
You were around a lot of, players who did put in the work. Obviously, Kevin Sestari, you had Ryan Diedelbaum. I know Williams is still on the team. I think he's a senior as well, and he's a star defensively. Ethan Williams, he can cover. I call him kind of like the high school version of Micah Parsons, except Williams could actually cover, Micah can't, right? You're around so many talented players who can do things on and off the field last year, and obviously with some players returning from last year's team. How is that for you still being, I mean, people forget, even though you're built like a senior, you're only a sophomore, dude. Like, how is that for you?
Um, it honestly feels fine. I feel like it's just I have to step up as a leader as well, whether if I have the title or not.
Hmm.
It just shows how um, it just shows my what is a good way to explain this? It shows my commitment to the team and my teammates, and it just shows everything overall.
Now, when you say that, right, and to kind of dissect that a little bit more, being a leader doesn't mean just like screaming and being loud, right? It could be a quiet leader. Trust me, there's plenty of those. I've seen it. Derek Jeter, I don't know if you're a baseball guy. Derek Jeter was one of those quiet leaders who let his play do the talking. Do you feel like at this time you're probably more that way, or are you a little bit more on the other side?
I feel like I'm a little in between. I try not to get on my teammates too much because I know they don't always like it. A coach gets on you, they don't like it, but they don't throw a fit. They show good body language and they take it the right way.
Mhm.
So I try to push them a little bit, but not push them too far until a point it's over their limit.
Last year, really quick, your freshman year, the numbers speak for itself. You're one of the leading rushers, obviously, in the state with the yards and the touchdowns were there and all that. I've always believed if I see it once, then it's there. If I see it multiple times, it's like, okay, this kid, player, whoever, he's cooking, right? And first game you popped, and then from there on you kept popping more and more. For you, when did you start to feel comfortable at the varsity level? Because it's not like you had a couple years to sit and get ready. Like you played game one and you didn't stop. When did it kind of get comfortable for you?
I feel from the first snap of the ball, and knowing all the work that me and my teammates have put in and all the times we've redone the same play over and over. As
Mm.
much as annoying it is, that's where you build the trust and the bond to knowing that you can count on your teammates, your linemen to block for you, your quarterback, you can protect your quarterback, etc. It took a long try and a long way,
Mm.
but we still definitely got to the point that we needed to get to.
If you could scout yourself, what kind of running style would you say that you are? Like, describe yourself as a running back. What's your style running when you get the pigskin?
I feel like I'm a versatile type of running back. I'm an all around. I can do it all.
Hmm.
As long as I put my mind to it, I feel I'm an athlete. So as long as I know what I'm doing and take my time to do it and do it correctly, I can get it done.
Would you say, and you could tell me if I'm wrong here, would you say that you're a downhill runner more than an uphill runner? Does that make sense?
Yes, I'm definitely a downhill runner.
Because I feel like, Derrick Henry's the kind of guy downhill, although he's built like a fridge. So he looks like just a goddess running the ball, right? But when you get the ball, your ability to, again, go downhill, but then you have that canny knack to kind of change gears. And then once you get to that second gear, you're just gone. But you can get to that at any point. Like when you do that, when you change and you shift, like, is that instinctual? Do you think about it? What's that like when you do it?
You, it's like it's all about patience. You just have to wait till the hole is open. You let the inside happen, and then you hit the hole, and then you just explode from there. Keep working.
Is there any running backs at, let's say, high school, college, pro, anybody in particular that you kind of just watch their tape and you just see kind of like you pick up anything from them? Anything in particular?
Levon Bell, I've watched him. I have watched Derrick Henry, um, Isaiah Pacheco, and
Mhm.
that's really about it.
See, it's funny that you mentioned Bell first because you talked about being patient in the mess, as they call it, where all the big fellas are just kind of falling on top of each other, right? Because again, before Le'Veon Bell took a year off and was bleh after, right?
Yeah,
He'd wait, be almost like it. In some ways, it was like he was too patient because then maybe the gap kind of was there or the best that he had, but he tried to wait for that perfect one.
yeah.
Do you feel like you do stuff like that too, where you're just so patient, you just wait, 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 and then you go?
I feel like I definitely could have had a few other plays where I could have been a little more patient, let the play develop,
Mhm.
and other than that, I feel I'm good with patience and I can get the job done. That is all.
Now, if I remember right, didn't you have a kick last year that changed the momentum? Was that against Ansonia?
Yes.
How was that? I didn't even know
It-
you could kick like that. Did you know you could kick like that?
um, like I said, as long as I put my mind and I'm an athlete, I can do what I put my mind to.
So then my next question is, did you ever play soccer?
No.
Okay, so the fact that you did that, I'm sure the soccer coach was calling, and Andoh was like, "No, no, 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 he's staying here, right?" That's funny. So, like you mentioned about being an athlete, right? And obviously, being an athlete's more than just being able to run the ball. You mentioned, or I mentioned the kicking aspect. That's another part of it. Um, how else, as far as with the team, are you helping? I know that's probably a separate question from the athlete part, but how are you able to help this team as this is a young team for Naugatuck heading into 2025? It's not the same guys, and it's yeah, a lot of young men that don't have a lot of varsity experience. So how are you helping? Mind you, you have more experience at the varsity level than probably some guys who are juniors and seniors. So how is that being worked? How's that?
Um, it's not easy, but we have to like understand like we can be patient with them. We just have to push them, keep them here every day. Like you said, Coach Anderson, he's a good coach, and he can put you in the right spot and put you in the right home as long as you trust him and follow his path. So it's not as bad as we thought, but it's coming. It's every day is one step.
When I think about, again, I don't know how much you follow analytics or anything like that, but I've always believed there's coaches that are like in baseball, there's a thing called WAR, which is wins above replacement, right? I feel like Anderson is like a two or three in terms of wins above replacement. You replace him, you wouldn't get the same amount of wins. Like he helps you win games that you typically wouldn't with somebody else. No offense to whoever it was, right? Because he's just that. Like prime example last year, you win 9 games last year. Realistically, you talk to a lot of people. I don't know if you guys get to 6 or 7, right? But you found a way to beat Ansonia. The Torrington game, you found a way. Like you just found ways in certain games, right? So I feel like the buy-in would have, and the entire staff as well, Mafo and Kingsley, and I know you have Tyler Belinsky on the staff, who was a great Woodland quarterback, 18, 19 back-to-back playoff appearances for Moff when he was at Woodland. Um, I feel like the kids have to buy in because the proof is in the pudding, especially after how last year was, right?
Yeah.
I would think that they'd have to buy in.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. We just have to find the right puzzles and put them in the right places. That's it.
As we look towards 2025, I mean, for you specifically, and probably more so just for the offense, it's going to be the same and different. Obviously, running the ball is going to be a focal point. You're going to have a different quarterback who's under center in the gun wherever Anderson wants to put him. Maybe he'll be split out wide. Who knows? He's a mad scientist. I wouldn't be surprised if I see it once during the game. Um, I've always wanted to ask a running back this, and I never remembered until now. Is there a difference between, for example, Ethan Jones is handing you the rock, handing it to you, okay, right? And then me, I'm doing it, and then whoever the quarterback is. Is there a difference when a different quarterback is handing you the ball? Is that a different timing thing? How is that like?
It's all about the relationship and the meshing. So that's what we do in practice. We have run time ups. We take our time. We make sure our meshes are good.
Mhm.
Our timing is perfect. Because what we do in practice is what we do in game. Well, and we make sure we're executing fully and
Mhm.
everything. Um, and that's really it.
Week one's against Darien. It's the Alliance game. Darien's a tough opponent. A couple years ago, they played against Naugatuck in the playoffs. Jet Hall was not able to walk for like 3 days because he was Superman, tried to do everything he could, and that was a tough loss for them in the Class L quarterfinal game. Um, for you guys in particular, regardless of the outcome, right? Obviously, a win would be great. Loss would not be fun, but at the same time, it doesn't make or break the team by any means. So, for like, have you thought about, or has the team talked about, okay, regardless of what the outcome is, and obviously you want the outcome to be great, but the biggest thing is one game does not determine the season.
Yeah.
And if you let it determine the season, then it's going to be followed by Holy Cross loss, followed by Woodland loss. Like you play, the first 3 games are going to dictate the season. And if you let it affect you in the first one, then you know what, the next. Like, how do you guys kind of change that thinking? Because it's all mindset. How do you fix that?
We just go week by week and determine like whether we win or not. We don't let that determine who we are. We
Mm.
still keep fighting because whether win, lose, or draw, we still know that we played fully at 100%. We
Mm.
had fun and we fully executed and we tried our best. Those are the 4 things that our coaches love and make sure that we always do: fun, execute, and and um, what were my other 2?
Fun,
Fun,
execute.
execute, uh, 100%, 100% speed,
Yep.
and um,
And being a
and
monster, right? Just to,
yes,
just
as
being just
long
being elite.
and good mental emotion.
Mhm.
Yes.
Brandon, I really appreciate you coming on. This has been a lot of fun. I didn't have a chance to talk with you last year. Obviously, you had a fantastic year, and the numbers speak for itself. And I was talking to Jacob Romanowski from Ansonia, and obviously he's got the rings and the awards too. And I asked him the question I'm going to ask you. And obviously, with you being only a sophomore, him being a senior, it's a little different, but still. How tough is it let's be honest, we're in 2025. We all have phones. We all have social media. People try to inflate the ego, the feel me stuff, right? The me, whatever. How tough was it, and was it tough for you getting all the publicity, everybody talking about you, everybody telling you how great you were, to not fall into that trap of the me because it's about we. Was that tough for you? Did you have people outside your inside your circle helping you? What was that like?
It definitely wasn't as hard because I'm a generous type of person, so I always give my credits and I never bash the next person or the person in front of me
Mhm.
because it's just like not who I am. I know like when to own up and like, you know.
Mhm.
I know that we're not always gonna win every game. It's not physically impossible. Well, it could be, but realistically. And that's really about it.
I don't know if Coach Anderson or anybody has talked with you, but again, the numbers, if they are to be repeated or even done better, like every year, I've always believed if you can do better than what you did the previous year, you're improving. Obviously, you need the teammates, you need the supporting cast, right? But you're on a trajectory, and I don't have the list in front of me. I'd have to get it from my former broadcast partner, Steve Gessick. But you could be, and again, only a sophomore here, but I'm projecting here. You have a chance to be up there with some very talented people who played years ago and are still talked about now. Do you realize what kind of history you could be making if you stay at Naugatuck for 4 years, what you could do as
Yeah.
as your legacy? Like, do you realize that? I don't want
Yeah.
to put pressure on you, but you have a chance to be something like you're something now, but have you thought about that, man?
Yeah, of course. I do think about like everything I do because
Mhm.
everything, the little steps matter that like that's how you get to the big pot of gold at the end of the tree.
Mhm. Yeah, you're right, man. I mean, again, obviously the wins and winning a title was great, but if you do your job, I mean that you can only control the controllables, right? When you get the ball, you know what to do. You can only control that. And I'm sure Coach Anderson has said that many times to you. Control the controllables, amongst the other many other thousands of sayings he's done.
Yeah.
Before I let you go, Ando, really quick, I've always said this during the broadcast. Coach Ando would be Coach Anderson, Chris Anderson. It's funny. His name is Ando, yours is Ando, so I wonder if that gets confusing. I've always said that he could always, if he was to ever play a game, mimic something out with his like motions for his offensive calls sometimes. They're funny. And I'm not saying that in a mean way. I think they're hilarious because some of them look like he's like putting. I always go, I wonder if he's going to do the putt motion. Do you ever look at on the sideline? Not to say you're laughing at him, but do you ever look on the sideline and you're just like, that was funny.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I get it because like he does do a lot of hand motion, so it's like, yeah,
I wonder if he'll do I wonder if he's got the one, maybe he could do like a baseball swing in a way.
that would be cool.
That would be all right. Give the ball to Ando. That's the home run. Hey, Brandon, I really appreciate you coming on. This was a lot of fun. Best of luck this season. We'll be seeing Naugatuck week 2. I'm pretty sure week 3 as well, and for a few other times during the season. So best of luck, buddy. Look forward to being able to see you on the field.
Thank you. Have a good
Oh,
night.
you too. The wrap things up are in the CT Sports Talent Show. Next time, stay safe. Remember, CT stands for Connected Talent. Enjoy, find them all. Enjoy your day, everybody, and be